Hi there! In this video, we're going to look at the overview for the IELTS speaking test. Now, the grading system and the criteria by which they give you the band score is a little bit complicated. So if you have some doubts about it, then watch this video because we're going to break it down for you so you have a clear idea of what your current band score is and what you need to do to achieve the band score you need. If you are planning on taking the IELTS test, or you just want to know more about it, then go on, subscribe to Home Studies. The speaking test is the final part of the IELTS exam. It's a face-to-face interview with an examiner, and there is no speaking partner in the room with you. The whole thing is recorded, so just be aware of that. Now, the test is the same for both academic and general training modules. So the information in this video series is useful for anyone who is taking or thinking of taking either version of the IELTS exam. The whole test takes between 11 and 14 minutes, so it really isn't very much time to show the examiner your skill level and get the band score you need. So with our help, you'll see exactly how you can make every single minute in the speaking test count. Part 1 of the IELTS speaking test is an interview, and it takes between 4 and 5 minutes. Now, it's a short introductory conversation about personal information and experiences. You talk about general topics like family or friends, your home, your work or studies, your free time activities, as well as some random topics like plants or pens and pencils or the rain. The important point though is that all the questions in the interview are about you, your hometown, your country, and your personal opinions on things. So you might get questions like, what is your hometown like? What do you like best about your hometown? Is it a big city or a small place? You wouldn't get a question like, what are the benefits of living in a big city? This is a more advanced discursive question, and this comes in part 3. As you answer the questions in the interview, the examiner will be listening very carefully to hear the kind of language you're using, and they'll be assessing how well you can speak English. During the interview, they will decide if your band score is generally above or below band 7, and this will have an impact on the rest of the speaking test and, of course, your final result. So the interview is not just a warm-up. It's important that you do your best to make a great impression. Part 2 of the IELTS speaking test is the long turn, and this part lasts between 3 and 4 minutes. In this part of the exam, your job is to talk about a particular topic that is on a task card that you get from the examiner. You get 1 minute of preparation time, and then you speak for about 2 minutes on the topic. After that, the examiner asks you 1 or 2 follow-up questions. So you might get a task card that looks something like this. At the top, it states what you should describe. If it's an activity, or a holiday, a place, a person, or an object that has some special meaning to you. Next, there are questions that you have to answer. These questions are usually open questions, so what, when, where, or why. If this was your task card, then you would probably get follow-up questions like, would you ever do this activity again? Or would you recommend other people try it? Please remember that this is an English language test. It's not a test of your truthfulness. At no point are they going to connect you to one of those lie detector machines like you see in Hollywood crime stories. You just need to speak. And if you run out of things to say, you just have to keep talking. Make it up. Tell a lie. It doesn't matter. They won't fact check. The examiner wants you to keep talking for the full 2 minutes. So if you get to the point that they ask you to stop, then you've done a great job and you should be really proud of yourself. The final part of the IELTS speaking test is the discussion, and this also takes between 4 to 5 minutes. In this part of the test, you need to develop the topic of part 2 in a more abstract, discursive way. So based on the previous topic in part 2, you might get questions like these. What are the benefits of playing a sport? How can sports bring people closer together? Why do you think people get so passionate about sports? Do you think athletes have a responsibility to be good role models? So you can clearly see here that the questions are more advanced, they're more in-depth, and they require a lot more from you to give a well-developed answer. The complexity of the questions that you'll be asked in this final part of the speaking test depends on you. You see, if the examiner thinks that you are a band 5 or band 6 candidate, then they will ask you simpler questions. You'll have a more straightforward conversation rather than a discussion. However, if the examiner thinks you are a band 7 candidate or higher, then they will definitely challenge you. So they'll ask you more discursive questions to see how well you can defend your opinions and agree or disagree with theirs. But either way, this part of the test is your last chance to impress the examiner and improve your band score. So how your score is calculated in the IELTS speaking test is obviously hugely important. You get a band score on a band scale of 1 to 9 for each of the following categories: fluency and coherence, lexical resource, grammatical range, and pronunciation. Now, some of these terms might be a bit new to you, so let's break them down and see what each one is about and how you would be able to get the band score that you need. The problem is this. When you go online to look at the criteria for how the examiner will assess your speaking performance, the criteria are really confusing and written in very academic language. For example, a band 9 candidate speaks coherently with fully appropriate cohesive features. Sorry, what? You need a master's in linguistics to understand what these criteria mean. But don't worry, I'm here to break it down for you in much more simple terms so you can more easily self-assess and see what your current band score is. So what are fluency and coherence? Well, fluency basically means being able to speak naturally without pausing or hesitating too much. It also means avoiding too much repetition. So there's a big focus on when they grade you on how well you can keep speaking, how often you repeat yourself, and how many pauses or breaks or hesitations you have. Now, there are lots of ways to work on your fluency, and of course, home studies can help you with that. But for starters, you can record yourself speaking, and when you listen back, try and spot things you tend to repeat. Then look up and memorize alternatives and try to actively use those in your speaking as well. Now, coherence means being logical and consistent with your answer. It is impossible to get a high score here without using discourse markers. Discourse markers are basically connecting words or phrases that we use to create good flow in our speaking and to organize our ideas. They can have a lot of different functions. For example, you can use them to add more information, like saying what is more, moreover, or in addition. You can use them to show contrast. You could say by contrast or on the other hand. And also they can be used for sequencing. So you could say firstly, secondly, finally, and things like that. Now, a band 5 user would rely on a few of these and just repeat them over and over again. Whereas a band 9 user would use a wide range of discourse markers and they would use them very well. As a side note, I just want to tell you to take care with discourse markers because the ones that you would use in your formal writing are not the same as the ones that you would use in your speaking. And candidates often make mistakes with that. So if you want to get a high band score, you need to know which are which. The That's why Home Studies is giving you a free practice pack for your self-study after the video. Just click the link in the description box below. Do you know this feeling that you are tongue-tied? It's like you know what you want to say, but you just can't find the words to say it. And this block is so common for people who are learning to speak a foreign language. It's that fear that when you speak, you make mistakes. But honestly, it doesn't matter. The most important thing is that you just try to get past this obstacle and you just try to activate your speaking. Because this ability to just speak is the fluency that the examiners are looking for in the IELTS speaking test. So the takeaway from this video is that the less you pause, hesitate, and repeat yourself, the better your band score will be. Lexical resource is another one of those pieces of terminology that looks a bit scary, but it's not. It just means vocabulary. So the idea of this category is that you have a broad vocabulary, that you know a lot of words. Now, it's no good learning the dictionary. You need to make sure that you can use the vocabulary you have available in the right context. A Band 5 user might struggle with this. They might often feel like they're missing the right words. A Band 9 user, by contrast, would not have that problem because they have a huge vocabulary and they can use it to talk about all manner of topics. So take a look at the criteria. What do you think? Which band looks like it might describe your vocabulary range? And please bear in mind that lexical resource isn't just vocabulary items. It's also things like phrasal verbs, collocations, and idioms. An idiom, in case you don't know, is a unique phrase that has a different meaning to the actual words in it. So for example, the idiom raining cats and dogs doesn't mean that there are literally cats and dogs falling from the sky. Oh no, it just means that it's raining heavily. So it's worth learning idioms that have a wide application. What I mean by that is it's an idiom that you could use in a lot of different situations or to talk about many different topics. It's not really a good idea to learn something that's too niche, as you might not get the chance to use it. Now, there are so many ways that you can build your vocabulary and your idioms, but one good idea is just to look up synonyms for common words that you often use, because this will really help you to expand your vocabulary. The takeaway from this video is that the larger your vocabulary, the higher your lexical resource grade will be. So let's talk a little bit now about grammatical range and accuracy. So as you know, grammar is just the set of rules that determines whether a sentence is right or wrong. Now, in the exam, it's very important that you focus on the range of grammatical structures that you use. So a Band 5 user, for example, would only use basic grammar structures. So present simple, past simple, future simple, with maybe a bit of present perfect thrown in. A Band 9 user, on the other hand, would use a much wider range of grammatical structures. They would also use things like advanced conditionals or past perfect, future perfect, passive, reported speech. So they've got a lot more flexibility in the kind of grammar structures they can incorporate into their speaking. So what do you think? How would you rate your grammatical range and accuracy according to these criteria? But, and here comes my disclaimer, don't get so focused and so worried about using the right grammar structures that it becomes a block to your speaking. Remember, in the IELTS speaking test, fluency is the priority. So if you make a minor grammar mistake, don't stress about it. Just keep going, correct the ones you can, skip the ones you don't know how to correct, and just keep speaking. This is what the examiners want to see. So the takeaway from this video might be contrary to what you thought in the beginning, because you don't get a better score if you correct every one of your grammar mistakes. And please, if you do correct yourself, then make sure you do it naturally so you don't lower your fluency score. Now, pronunciation is the way that you say words out loud. You might not realize, but most people don't even know that they have problems with their spoken English. There can be problems with pronunciation, intonation, accent, volume, pitch, and these things are really hard to self-assess, which is why it's a very good idea to have a language specialist like us to work on your pronunciation with you. The most important thing when it comes to the IELTS speaking test is that you are understood. You see, for a Band 5 user, they might sometimes mispronounce words or use the wrong pronunciation features, which makes it difficult for someone to understand them. A Band 9 user, on the other hand, will not have that problem. It's really easy for them to be understood. So with this in mind, how would you score your pronunciation? And believe me, it is so easy to be misunderstood when it comes to how you pronounce words in a foreign language. Like in English, the long and the short vowel sounds. Like the difference between E and as in this example, can have the world of difference. And you could really confuse someone by what you're asking for. And as a final note, lots of my students often think that speaking quickly can get you a higher fluency score, but that is simply not true. The takeaway from this video is that you don't need to speak quickly. It's better to be slow and clear rather than fast and misunderstood. Now, I bet you are dying to know what your band score would be in the IELTS speaking test. It is a very difficult thing to accurately self-assess. So if you want a professional assessment, why don't you go ahead and book a mock speaking test with Home Studies? We can grade your speaking skills according to the 4 criteria covered in the video and help you to come up with an action plan to improve your speaking to get the band score you need. If that sounds like something that could be helpful to you, then go ahead and get in touch with us. Follow the link in the description box below. Well, that is gonna do it. If you enjoyed the video, go on, give us a like, and do stay tuned for the next video tutorials in our IELTS speaking series. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.